Good evening, everybody. Honest Eve here, smoking cigars, along with the man they call the GOAT, Alex Tabella. And we haven't done one of these in a while. It's kind of
It's
right?
been a minute. It's been a minute since like pre-Great Smoke exclusives.
I don't count any of the Great Smoke stuff, but we just haven't had one of these.
Prior to that, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Did you share the social?
Of course.
All right, my man. We got some very special guests joining us tonight. We're celebrating. What was that?
I said friends of ours.
Friends of ours, and we are celebrating the launch that happened at noon today of the newest line by Micallef Cigars, the Micallef Blue. All right, blue is the color. And joining us tonight is Dan Thompson and Amanda Micallef of Micallef Cigars. Welcome, everybody.
Hello. It's great to be here.
Guys? Good to have you as always.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening.
Howdy, Dan.
I am lighting up my blue. My
Yes.
blue. Let's see here.
Hey, that's first one, right? I think I've hoarded.
No, I had one the night of the TGS. And before that, we had I think from the sample box. But
I hoarded most of that box, so I'm glad you guys.
Yeah, I know you stole it right out of my office. So we got you both on. We're going to focus on blue, but then I was going to talk a little bit about the PCA show we were all just at. But tell us about this development, obviously coming off of black and, the success of black, on what led us to the new Micallef Blue.
Yeah, we'd love to share the story. I think in 2020, I've got to give all the credit to Al Micallef coming in and saying, how are we going to win and build cigars that people love? So in 2020, we started working on our tobacco and started buying differently. And you often heard us talk about with black that for 3 years we worked on our tobacco to make the black cigar. What we didn't say is we were also working on the blue and a few other things. And so we're incredibly happy to be here now with the blue. and presenting it to all of our friends for the first time.
So what you're saying is you didn't technically, you had blue was part of the plan all along, even during the black development.
Yeah, we're starting to talk about it now.
I mean, it's par for the course for you guys, knowing how you guys operate. That it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, we have this whole concept of a color line for Micallef cigars, and black was the first one we introduced. It was a bet the company moment on the cigars, and the reception's been amazing. People have loved it. Socialites love it. Ambassadors love it. And what it allowed us to do was to prepare to bring about every 6 months a new line of cigars to the market.
Nice, aggressive. I dig it. I dig it.
Sometimes aggressive is the way to go.
Absolutely. I'm not going to ask what the next one is, but I'll be excited for that as well.
Well, we may talk about that towards the end. I think the thing that surprised many people is how different blue and black are. We weren't a one-trick pony in the way we did it.
It really is. It doesn't remind me of black at all.
No, it is completely different from black, and that's a question I have for you guys. What made you decide that Sumatra was the way to go?
Amanda, do you want to talk about some of your sweet taste?
Because I'm a Sumatra guy, as we know.
I think when we were thinking about the color series, we knew that we wanted to cover different taste profiles and different strength profiles. And so coming off of black, we knew we wanted something that was not nearly as strong. And I like a sweet, creamy cigar over something that's, super peppery or spicy, not flavored sweet, but just, with a sweeter tobacco. And so I like Sumatra quite a bit. And like a lot of people, I didn't really realize, I knew we used Sumatra from the San Andreas Valley, from the Trent family. I didn't realize that we could get wrapper until, Alan and Joel and Adele Gomez Sanchez started talking about it. And so, I think Dan was familiar, but I was not. And so to discover that there was this great, wrapper Sumatra growing in the valley where we're getting a lot of our tobacco was super exciting. And then, we work a little different than a lot of other manufacturers in that Dan and I aren't down at the factory, trying things as they blend them. Alan, our partner, who is president of Micallef Cigars SA, will have the factory roll things and bring them up. And so
not Alan Rubin.
No, Alan Davis. Silent but deadly. We don't hear a lot from Alan Davis, but he's the mastermind of the Micallef cigar manufacturing. And so we brought him up and we tried it. And I think right off the bat, I mean, Dan, at least my recollection is that we knew right off the bat that it was a winner. This one, sometimes we get it quick. And I think this was one of those examples.
Very well done. Very well done. Go ahead, Dan.
As we were planning, I often talk about a tobacco platform. And for us to be able to build cigars that have this luxury experience and appeal, but be able to bring them in at very pocket-friendly prices means that you have to do everything right in your manufacturing process. And so by setting out and taking 2 or 3 years to really work how we take tobacco from the fields, Amanda talked about the Trent family in the San Andreas Valley, which is where we probably spend about 65% of our money. But we've established farming relationships in Nicaragua where we're also doing our own farming. We're doing that in 4 different areas in Esteli, Condega, Omotepe, and Jalapa. So it's really been about how do we bring the tobacco that we want into our factory, and we have palones everywhere. I mean, we are overrun with tobacco palones, which is a beautiful thing because that's what leads to these wonderful cigars.
It's so ambitious for you guys, really, to become as linear as you can be in the process of making these cigars. I mean, and I think that's a testament also to why that you're creating these quality cigars. It really I mean, a decent price point. Like, I mean, super economically fair price point. I mean, I would put this cigar easily in a $12 cigar range of, if I'm comparing it to other brands I'm smoking.
Yeah, you guys have been fortunate and you visited us in Texas and you've seen the factory that we have. That's our silicone business, where we begin and compound our own materials and then we take it through our manufacturing process. That's where Al got excited and said, this is what we have to be doing in the cigar business. We can't be just mucking around playing, I think he said, grab ass or something like
That
that.
sounds like Al.
you know, and he talks about we got to, focus on the elephants, not the peanuts that are around it. And for him, that meant let's figure out how we can do very high quality through manufacturing process and maintain a price point. The design of our box, the design of our bands, everything's made to be a very luxurious experience, but without inducing additional cost into the product.
You kind of showed me a little bit, or you were showing it to my wife over there, but there has been a evolution and a metamorphosis on the lines and the packaging and how things are kind of coming more together. It looked very nice set up there in your booth, all laid out, looking like it was one company's portfolio.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think one other thing that's great is we've got these beautiful white vistas that say Micallef cigars for kind of our signature cigars like the Leyenda and the Migdalia, which are, $12 cigars where we're making world-class cigars. And then you have the color series and the sleek boxes like over your shoulder, Abe. So it's a beautiful collection for people to display in their shops. We're just very proud of where we've arrived, and we can only do it through the support and love provided by the Micallef ambassadors and your socialites. Very active group providing us feedback on every step.
So we started with black, right? Wildly popular. For me, and now black was, I believe that was pretty much your strongest offering to date, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And now here we are with the Micallef Blue Sumatra, totally different cigar, different strength, different profile. I've said it to you guys. I've said it in a video. This is a cigar that will go into my regular rotation. I really enjoy a Sumatra. The construction is great. The price point is great. And it's, I have to say, it's really a testament to you guys, like Abe said, to really, and like you mentioned, to really be able to provide a luxury product at such a great price point. And, even, and especially, look, we're talking a year later, you guys still remain with that $7, $8 range where, everything is kind of going up. You guys are, it's almost a dead category, to be honest. Like $7 to $8 range has shrunking to like a hand, I don't know what's in the $7, $8 range, Abe, like, probably count on two hands, maybe.
You know what? Point in the game, $7 and $8 range is kind of so scarce because either you get that ultra economy, $5, $4 or $5 stick like a Buffalo 10 or something, and then it just kind of really goes up to $9, $10 and above. So that $7, $8 range, I think everybody's kind of been steering clear from it. I can't even think of things off the top of my head that kind of a lot of brands that are falling into that range these days.
Right. There's not. So for you guys to really still be able to provide that quality of a product is impressive.
It's really a nice sweet spot. Some Perdomo stuff maybe, but it's a nice sweet spot. And I'm telling you, if you're going to have something that you're going to enjoy, look, we all have our different cigars for different occasions. This is my dog walker. This is I want to celebrate something. I want a night out, something special. And then we have the cigars that take up the majority of our smoking lives. Is the ones that it's in our daily repertoire. And man, it's very hard to find premium, good quality sticks that you could really enjoy in that, $6 to even $8 range. I mean, it's just very slim.
So if we go all the way back from like brainstorm, right? How long is this process to come to fruition?
Well, 2020, when Amanda and I joined, is when we began to really brainstorm, and Al was just, going crazy because he thought, hey, I think that we build great construction cigars. Maybe they weren't in people's favorite vitolas or shapes, but the constructions of our cigars. And I think that, as I've seen over the last 4 years, our construction is as good as anybody in the industry. I feel confident saying that now because we would hear it from people if it wasn't. And then I think that Amanda could really comment on what she saw in the economy and at the trade show that gave us an opportunity.
I'm almost tempted to call Vincent out on that.
I didn't see what he said.
I don't know what wall hanger he's talking about.
I think he wants an ambassador sign.
Oh, he wants an ambassador sign.
Yeah.
Is that what he's calling a wall hanger?
Yes. I suppose. I think we got a frozen Dan.
Yes.
We got a smiling frozen.
I was going to say, at least he's smiling. Could be worse.
Dan, if you could hear us, pop out and come back in, and we'll put Amanda on the hot seat.
Yes. I don't know. So we used to have authorized dealer signs, and we have new Micallef ambassador signs that actually debuted at the Great Smoke. I think I gave out about 15 or 20 of them. People went nuts for them.
This past one?
Yes.
Oh,
at the event that night, if people were buying heavy, we were giving them a sign. So I don't know if we're probably too late. I don't know if we're too late. If we have the ability to do a drawing or something fun, we could certainly give away a few more of those.
I can make it happen.
So
we need just a little bit of Alex magic to make it happen.
Yeah, I can make it happen.
I'm ready to give Vince one if he orders 10 boxes.
Yeah, Vince, if you order 10 boxes.
10 boxes. I will absolutely pack it myself and send it.
Well, now he's going to be eating crow. See what happens when you put things out there.
Okay, Vince.
See, because I'm watching.
There you go, Vince.
I'm watching.
You're on the spot.
Back end. Yep, I'm watching the back end. So
everybody in the comments, let's put some pressure on Vince.
Yeah, I think he was huffing and puffing there.
So
I didn't see him at all. They must be gorgeous.
I didn't see them either. I was so busy. It's that thing. You're so busy that day. We don't get to.
Building a sign for a long time that was for our authorized dealers. It's got the Micallef crest in the middle, and it said authorized dealers. And this year we released one for Micallef ambassadors that's in the same style. And they've been going like hotcakes at events. Yes. So
I'm trying to see how long I can keep this ash go. Look at this.
I'm telling you, when I smoked it and I texted this guy, the construction is incredible, and like I said, this is going to be a daily rotation cigar for me. But for those of you that are just joining us, if you don't know what we're doing here, we are talking to Dan and Amanda about their latest release, the all new Micallef Blue. And I don't know if I don't think we did this, but Dan, or Amanda, can you give us like a full breakdown of this cigar blend?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So the Micallef Blue, like Amanda pointed out earlier, the wrapper is a San Andreas Sumatra, which not many people are familiar with. That Sumatra.
Dan, I got to stop you for a second. I
was watching too.
I got to stop you. I got to give this man credit. We torture each other online, but we're actually very good friends. Vince Benetti is a man of his word. Vince Benetti is a man of his word and just ordered 10 boxes of Micallef Blue.
We've got a sign with his name on it.
I will send you his.
Amanda, what's the chance you can get you and Dad and maybe Dan to autograph it if he wants?
We can definitely make that happen.
We'll do that. Right. And because he was the first, let's put in one of Al's $2 bills.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
We're gonna share a lot of love.
Yep.
Abe, is it too bold to say anybody that buys 10 boxes?
Oh, that's up to you. You have the signs. I don't.
We could do that.
Let's do it. Only on the show.
I don't know how many people are in the insanity realm of Vincent Michael.
Listen, man, I got to give Vince credit. That was a classic hold my beer moment.
Oh, my gosh.
That's fantastic.
Vince, unfortunately, I don't think an alibi from smoking is going to work this time. So go ahead and break this blend down for us, please.
Yeah, let me try one more time to break it down. So it's wrapped with a beautiful San Andreas Sumatra leaf. The binder underneath is an Ecuadorian Habano. And then for the fillers, we use a combination of Nicaraguan and Dominican, which as you smoke through the experience, it goes from an elegant, smooth, and creamy cigars and brings complexity into it for your enjoyment.
So normally for me, I don't know. Abe, do you know? Usually it's Ecuadorian Sumatra, right? Usually Ecuadorian. Sometimes you get Indonesian. I don't see a lot of San Andreas Sumatra. Or if we do, we don't hear about it much.
Yeah, I don't hear about it. That's true.
Guys,
so that's very interesting.
When the team proposed it, I thought, get the fuck out of here. There's no such thing.
Right?
San Andreas Sumatra. And I said, show me the invoices where we bought it. I don't want any games being played around on this. And yes, it's absolutely San Andreas Sumatra, grown in a field for us by the Trent family.
That's awesome. You guys really seem to have a great relationship with the Trent family.
Yes, it goes back a very long time.
Very well done. And that's I got to tell you, that's a pretty, maybe not a name that a lot of people know, that it's a pretty good family to have a good relationship with. I'll say that much. That's for sure.
Well, they're masters at their craft, and the tobacco they provide us is extraordinary.
I just want to point this out. There's a time and a place. I don't want anybody to think I'm ignoring them, but there's a time and a place to ask questions like this. This isn't it, but feel free to PM me. I'll be happy to answer your question. But off the top of my head, without knowing anything, I'll say that 99.999% is it didn't sell. But
right,
if you'd like to PM me that question, I'll answer that question. Right now, we're here doing something else. You might want to join the show with us and partake in what's going on. We were the first in the country to launch this. This is out today. It launched at noon today. First available to anybody who is seeking this brand. If you're a fan of Micallef cigars, if you're a fan of good quality, great smoking cigars at a low price point, this is definitely a cigar you should try, without a doubt. I'm sure there are some people who are coming across this who may not be a customer of ours or have their own local place. When can consumers expect to find these starting hitting in retail stores across the country?
So we began shipping Micallef Blue on March 25th, which was the last day of PCA. And people tell us it's a little unusual that they ship that quick for a new line of cigars.
Well, to be honest with you, normally that's a lot unusual. There's a lot of times, stuff gets ordered to PCA and we don't see it for 8 months.
How about 2 years?
Right. I think there's still stuff that hasn't been received 2 years ago.
Well,
but it's typical fashion for you guys.
When you're a new manufacturer and brand in the industry, you want to build trust and confidence. And that starts with both the consumer and the retailer. And we think that being ready to ship when we say we'll ship is helps build that trust.
Well, honestly, it makes, not to state the obvious, but it makes sense. And that's something I never understood. You create all this buzz around PCA and you get people excited for a cigar, and then it kind of disappears and reappears 9 months later. Never really made sense to me. So, I would think, the way to do it, if we really want to capitalize, is we get the excitement and we ship it as you're excited for it. This way we can get it out there. And, you guys have, one thing I can say is you have always been on top of your game when it comes to getting product out and having a plan in place, because we have often suffered, people getting excited for a line and, company our size gets 4 boxes.
Right. Right. Mike, just so you know, our warehouse is not designed nor has capability for pickups there. But these will be in the stores. We just put the first batch there to make sure that we were able to handle this national launch, and everybody who wanted it got them. But they will be, if you ordered one, great. It'll probably get out to you tomorrow, probably have it the next day. If not, they'll be in the stores this week.
Absolutely. I think, they should be here hopefully by
tomorrow. Well, boy, depends on which location. Boynton will probably
right. Boynton will probably have them tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow or Saturday, and the other two maybe early next week.
So, I mean, it's that time of the year. I know, Abe, you wanted to get a little PCA talk.
Well, I always like to get the perspectives of the untainted. That's what we'll call you guys. You're not bitter yet. You're still untainted. Everything is still lovey-dovey new. After 30 years, I've become maybe a little sour and scorned a little bit. I don't know. But, because we talked a little bit about it when I visited Dan and Amanda during the show. But, what was your take on the show this year?
Amanda, would you like to start?
First, shout out to everyone at PCA. We work with Maria and Lisa pretty closely. Of course, Scott and Josh. It cannot be easy to put that on and juggling, both the brands and the manufacturer's interest and the shops and trying to keep everybody happy and everything. I do not envy the job they have. And I think they do a fantastic job trying to navigate all of that.
You're so nice.
And it was it was in a new location. From the planning side, it's always kind of like, oh, what's going to happen this year and things like that. But I thought it went really well. I did, sort of from a cigar standpoint, and I'm super curious, because I didn't get to walk the floor very much. But a lot of times, the news sort of filters in from the floor into the booth. I didn't feel like there was that, oh my gosh, thing this year that everybody was talking about. So I thought it was, from that standpoint, a little more sedate, but in a good way. I mean, it felt like it was a little less about sort of what shiny objects could we have, and a little more about kind of what cigars are we bringing out, and maybe a little more mellow with the economy and things like that. But overall, I thought it was a good show. We were super happy. We were definitely, I think this was our busiest year, certainly that I've been. The booth was popping most of the time, and we were happy. We got to see a lot of old friends, but we opened up a lot of new accounts, which was super exciting as well.
How many trade shows is this for you guys now?
It's probably, what is it? It's my third, but it's not Micallef's third. Dan, 5th, 6th for Micallef?
Did you miss the half day?
No, not at all. That was the best.
Yeah, I didn't miss it either. I really didn't miss it either, which is really kind of funny because I've been doing this now for a few decades, and I'm always running around the half day trying to do last minute stuff. But now that it was gone, it's like, oh, yeah,
I think some things, and I think a trade show is a really good example of that. It takes up exactly the amount of time you have. If you have 3 days, you'll get everything done in 3 days. If you have 4 days, you'll think you need it all 4 days. It has just it's like gas. It just expands to the amount of time you allow it to. But I think it could be.
Go ahead, finish. Yeah. No, it's a great point. You're right. You do finish. I'm going to share a phenomenon, which unfortunately you two won't be able to relate with me. Because this went on with everybody I knew, almost everybody I talked to at the trade show this year. And someone brought it to my attention why. And I hope they don't do this next year. But you guys are pretty much in your booth all day. For guys like me who are walking around, for the first time in 30 years, usually day one, you kind of figure it out where everybody's at. But by day two, you know where everything's at. And we're going this way, they're over here, they're over here. I swear to God, this is the first time in 30 years I couldn't get back to the same booth twice, no matter whose it was. And I thought it was just me. I thought maybe my old people would go.
It wasn't much of a grid.
That's what happened. Someone explained it to me, and I'm like, they're right. So normally trade shows all rows, right?
It's not.
They had it all weirded out this year because you'd be going down a row, and then you run into a wall of a booth, and you had to go right.
Was the overall imprint smaller?
Probably the same. I don't think it was much bigger or smaller. Not noticeably smaller. it was construed in a way that you could lose. It was like a labyrinth.
It was.
Like literally on the third day, I had been to this booth 3 times already.
Yeah.
Soccer's booth. I stopped by every day because I wanted to see what I want to watch, and I had to figure out how to get there every day.
Yeah. I don't think I walked to our booth the same way twice.
It was it was a very, very weird experience for me. I couldn't find anybody's booth. Very weird.
So Abe, I want to share my perspective. Amanda covered a little. As a relatively new brand and manufacturer, for us, the game is different than more established players. And it's about the preparation work your sales team does before the show to bring people to your booth. You know, it's very important that we do that work. And our sellers, we spent the last 4 weeks working with them very closely. When the trade show opened on the first day, for the first time in our history, we had an absolutely full booth 5 minutes after the open of the show. And that is a testament to the sales team and our business of bringing people to the booth. My criticism of the PCA show would be, and I agree with Amanda, they have treated us incredibly well, and we're very happy about most things. There were retailers and they were ready to spend money. Perhaps a little down from previous show, but it was our responsibility to sell what will be valuable to them in their shops.
Wait a second. I have to stop you there for a second because this could be the most historic moment in the cigar industry in all my career. What was down from the previous show?
So the mindset of retailers is that their cash positions were not as large as they would have had accumulated in July. And so you were fighting for the dollars a little harder.
So are you actually saying that your sales was a little bit less this year than last year?
We won't know the answer for about another week.
Okay. Because I've never heard that.
Abe's point is every manufacturer said it was the best. It was the best show ever. It was the best show to date. It was the best.
Every year, it's the highest attended trade show ever, and everybody had the best sales year ever of the trade show. I've never heard otherwise in 30 years. I almost fell out of my chair right there.
Well, remember, we're new to the cigar industry, and we're accustomed to talking about the reality of our business with our business partners. And sometimes it's up, and sometimes it's not. And I think in our case, the total dollar spend will be equivalent to last year. What we saw with the activities with the accounts was significantly better than last year. And that gives us hope that as we go through the remainder of the year, that it's going to continue building and have momentum. So we're very happy in that regard. But the conversation with retailers was about their cash positions and their ability to buy today. I think there was a little negative pressure in terms of their spending, where in favorable years, they have wind in their sails.
Look who woke up.
Hey, it's Coop. It's probably prepping for a show.
Nobody discloses sales numbers, but Coop, come on, man. Everybody says, "Oh, we crushed it last
show
year.
ever.
Best show ever for us." You know, I mean,
highest attendance
day
ever.
3 was slow, but in day 2 we surpassed last year's numbers. I mean, I heard it all.
Well,
so I'm going to flip the script. You know, Dan, you mentioned a very real thing, which is people had less dry powder. They had less money to spend. I still, from a rhythm of business, I still really like it, having moved forward. I'm curious what the smoke in guys think. You know, do you prefer a Q1 or early Q2 show versus the middle of the summer, or did you like it better?
I could tell you from somebody who's doing it 30 years and someone who did it when I was a 900 square foot store. Okay. And basically my annual sales wasn't even equated to the whole, just the 5 hours of what we did at the Great Smoke this year. And that's how small we were. Right. And to where we are today, I've never cared. In fact,
I figured that was going to be your answer.
I've never cared because it's not a secret. It doesn't sneak up on us. Hey, we got a trade show next month, surprise. I mean, if you're a business person, which unfortunately I think a lot of people in our industry aren't really business people, but if you're a business person, let's be real, man. You know what you got going on. If you buy a home, you escrow your taxes because you got to pay the real estate taxes at the end of the year. I mean, it's not a secret. So I don't know why that would come in place. In fact, when I got into this business almost 30 years ago, Florida was super, super. I mean, it still is a little bit, but not like it used to be, but super, super seasonal. I could tell you, like clockwork, every May, our sales dipped to half, and you wouldn't see it back till October. And so it literally was coming at the worst time of year for me when I first got started in the business. I mean, but you bought what you had to buy and you planned ahead. So for me, I mean, in all due respect, it's an inconvenient thing for me to leave work and leave my family, whether it's in January, December, March, April. It's just inconvenient. I'm going there to do what I got to do, and I'm going home. So, you know, and I think that's maybe a lot of problems with a lot of smaller stores. They're stuck in that mentality of it really makes a difference. If it really makes a difference, then you're just not planning right. But it's always easy to find an excuse, right? Changing the date of the trade show is going to solve my problem. In my opinion, not really. If you haven't really figured this out, if you've been in this business I mean, Dan's laughing, but you know it's true. If you've been in this business any amount of time and haven't figured out the cycle, I don't care when you're changing the trade show, it's not going to help you. You know, that's part of running a business. You have to plan, you have to forecast, you have to kind of anticipate needs. And, you know, I just never understood that argument, you know, and now they're switching it again to April next year. And I you know, it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, I don't, the reality is no matter when you do it, half the people are going to like it and half the people are going to hate it.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Right. And that's truth. And there's some facade they've convinced themselves that we're going to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Never going to happen. You just do it and, you know, people are going to come.
We had one funny experience with the trade show moving to the early spring, which we like that model, being in the spring. When we left Las Vegas last year, when everything was announced, we had to run immediately to our band printer and put money down so that we could have bands printed in time to have Blue ready for the show. The cigars were already on path, but a cigar rolled is not a finished good.
Yep. We see that a lot.
We found ourselves that we were able to bring in a good volume of blues by the time of the show, but we had been on a previous schedule which had them coming in July. So this was kind of a one-year switch. We're really happy to be in the spring. The one thing that happens at the PCA show that we do find a little difficult is when they do happy hour. Because when the PCA does happy hour during the middle of our business selling time, everybody disappears.
So that's actually something I was going to ask you guys. There was an interesting take that I saw from Half Wheel that they said that they noticed like there would be lulls in floor traffic. It would be like very busy, then it would kind of die out a little bit, then it would get like very busy again, and it would kind of die out.
That was our experience. And when Mike Tyson arrived, everybody left the floor to go see Mike Tyson. So that's very good for them, but it kind of hurt the rest of us. And it's kind of surprising that a star would draw that much attention. But I guess if they're only there for an hour, people want to see them.
I was going to say, Abe, you said he wasn't there that long, right?
Yeah, he wasn't there that long. They lined up. I don't know, maybe if also the location, it was a very detached show. There wasn't that congregating or seeing other people because everybody was staying in different hotels and different places. Typically, when we do the show, it's typically 90% of the population stays in the same hotel. So you're always running into each other, you know.
Right.
I barely saw people after the trade show, you know. I mean, I barely accidentally ran into people unless I was meeting somebody. But
a table at dinner or two tables at dinner. They had March Madness going on, which was kicked off on the same weekend. So it really diluted the effect of the cigar community being together. Not necessarily LCA's fault, but that was something that happened as a consequence.
Now, I will say this, and going back to the fact of financing and people being prepared for the show, you know, I don't go to a lot of them, but I always hear about the seminars and who they have talking, whatever. And I'm going to tell you something. What we forget a lot is the majority of this industry on the retail side are smaller stores, the majority. So the flux of cash flow is a vital thing. I think, and I don't know if they've done it. I know my friend Jay Davis typically listens or hopping on here. I know he's on the border. I think if they really want to do their members a favor, is get some finance guy to come in here, some money guy to come in here and do a couple seminars, really kind of show these people how to handle finances, to be better prepared, to be and not to be afraid to buy. There's a psychology that I see in a lot of retailers where they're just afraid to spend their money. Like the money in the bank. If you get into retail, money sitting in your bank is worthless if you don't have product to sell. You know, they don't realize that, you know, a product is like what do they call it? Energy that's waiting to be used in science. I forget the word.
Potential.
Yeah, it's potential energy. It's potential sales. If you don't have, you know, if you're not investing your money and it's just sitting in a bank account and makes you feel better, it's more valuable to you to have product to sell, and that's how you grow. And I really think that it would really help for people for the trade show to really help kind of do these kind of seminars for the people in our industry.
Well, one of the shifts that we made as a company as we better understood the retailers who are our direct customers was that it's not necessarily a game of the number of facings you can get in their shelf. It's how many turns can you make in a year with the facings that you have. And with the color series, our goal is to be a high velocity product on your shelf so that you're reordering more often and you're selling it out, and that we keep the inventory here in Texas to be able to supply that. So it's been a business shift in our model to have less facings tuned into what people want to buy and really drive the velocity with the price point that we chose.
That's a good point, because we've been down to your place. The woes I'm talking about actually are not just retail woes. There's a lot of manufacturers, especially in that small to medium level, that have the same problem. They're running out of product. They haven't forecasted enough. You know, they tried to cut it too close, and now customers are waiting 5 months to, you know, for the next shipment to come in. So I guess a more common problem that I make.
And I empathize with the other manufacturers and brands. It's a difficult thing. You know, I think our observation is it's really a 5-year planning cycle with your cash on the manufacturing side. From seed to shelf is a 5-year process. And we didn't understand that initially when we started. I think that we continue to improve our understanding of it. And that's what's helped drive us to Micallef Black and Blue type products that move faster and having a tobacco platform that supports that sales.
I'll just chuckle a little quiet.
No, Vince, they do not.
Well, you know, honestly, nothing against PCA, but I think that's always kind of been my struggle is that even when we were there, when I was on the board, it almost seems like they tried to solve problems without really trying to help people. They want to give people fish instead of teaching people how to fish. And that never really works out in the long term.
Yeah, you know, the other perspective that we continue to point out in our Micallef material is that we only sell exclusively to family-owned brick and mortars. You know, there's other people in the industry that are these mega online sites, and they tend to do pricing bad behavior, which hurts the brick and mortars. You know, and we think that a relationship with Micallef Cigars is very important because you can build an audience in your shop that's not going to be affected by what those other companies do.
Not far from the truth.
Alan Rumet has nailed that one. But we have to have the mindset that we can continue selling to retailers across the country and help them have a safer, better business in their shop. That's part of the Micallef promise.
Well, one of the things I could definitely attest to in working with you guys over the past few years, really getting to know you guys, is you are one of the most forward thinking people that I've had the pleasure of working with. And part of that is not being too stubborn to realize when you may not know something. You know what I mean? You laugh, Dan, you laugh. If I could videotape some of the conversations in this office with people, and then they'll walk out of here and just do exactly the opposite. And, you know, I think that's a testament to the projection and your trajectory of growth, is that you're willing to say, hey, you know, look at something in like you said, the real world, and make adjustments as needed. And I think that's key. We're constantly doing it here. You know, we make adjustments. This doesn't work. All right, well, we got to do that. We never try to fool ourselves and sugarcoating things. It doesn't get you anywhere.
Well, I remember the first time that we met in your office, and I felt like I was trying to juggle boxes and show you the potential of Micallef cigars. And we asked 100 or 200 questions, and your team was very gracious. And
Yes.
poor Amanda was trying to capture it in notes. When we got back to the hotel and tried to unpack the story that we thought we just heard, we found out that we'd written on every sheet of paper we had, upside down, sideways.
Oh,
We still have those somewhere. We should pull them out because it was pretty epic.
You guys have been very patient with us, and we appreciate the training.
I love it. I love it. Why don't we tell our listeners who may not know? Let's see if I can get that to zoom in there. But you have a very cool. There you go. You got a very cool print inside the band. 2 families, 1 legacy. Now, some people watching may not know what that's about. Dan, you want, or Amanda, you guys want to share that?
Yeah, absolutely. So inside of our manufacturing facility, the Gomez Sanchez family has joined us. They work exclusively on Micallef cigars. They're an old Cuban family. Their initial blend is the Leyenda cigar, and it was blended in 1934 in Cuba. And they have 4 generations that have worked on that. And together as a team, we work. And I don't know if, well, I know you have worked with people of Cuban descent. It's fireworks and a lot of arm wrestling over decisions. But what we've found is the Gomez Sanchez family takes the construction of our cigars and the blend and the ability to make the same cigar year over year, adjusting for what nature gave us, very serious. And so we are just completely blessed to have them working with us as our, exclusively with us.
So for those of you, no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, we like to put things on the inside of bands, not just the primary band, but some of the secondary bands have some little hidden messages too. So when you're smoking a Micallef, it's always worth flipping the band over and seeing if there's something on the inside.
It's like a fortune cookie.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's interesting. We build the Migdalia cigar, which is a little hard in English, and that is the matriarch of the Gomez Sanchez family. And when she was in Cuba as a young woman, Castro would send her all over the world where she would participate in rolling competitions. And she won awards. And when the family left, she was able to bring that tradition to her sons, Adele and Joel, who work in our factory. And they're our master blenders and make sure that everything that comes out, in addition to our Micallef manufacturing processes, is perfect experience when you get to smoke it. Now, I will leave one caveat. Our construction is excellent, but I like to drive really fast. And when I light our cigars and the windows are down, sometimes they don't burn perfect. That's at 85 or 90 miles an hour. And I don't think that's a function of Micallef. I think that's a function of this guy right here.
I'm telling you, this has been a fabulous smoke, this whole show, this whole broadcast.
So now you mentioned it earlier, and of course we are here. We are celebrating the release. It is we have it online. It will be on at our shops in the next few days. Other retailers around the country will be getting it and have it for sale in the next 2 days. But any before we get out of here, any teasers? What's if there's one thing, if there's one way I can describe Micallef cigars, it's ahead of the game. So if there's anything I'm sure you guys have
make
things.
It to the trade show, but we had one additional box.
We did.
That was at the trade show, and I picked this shirt because it's red, and all of your fans and all the wonderful socialites and ambassadors will get to experience Micallef Red in September.
Oof.
So there you have it. Any you want to give us any?
Maybe we should scoop Coop on the show tonight. How's that sound?
Coop is not a teaser type guy.
But this is going to be fact and not teaser. So one of the things that we've never incorporated into our portfolio, there's different tobaccos that are available. And as we enter the industry in 2017 with the FDA pressure, we're very interested in how to follow regulatory requirements. We didn't feel like we could open up to other tobacco based on our predicates. But with the legal victories that have happened, we're ready to play some new games. And Micallef Red will have broadleaf in it. And that'll be the first time that we bring broadleaf together. Now,
Love me some broadleaf.
we have
Absolutely.
chosen not to use it as a wrapper because we're going to bring it at the same price point as the blue and the black. And so by using it as the binder, you get this wonderful mouthfeel and experience from the broadleaf without having to have the economic impact that comes with finding wrappers of broadleaf on the market. There's other manufacturers who do a great job with that. And for us, we want to provide the experience, but at a price point that's a bit aggressive.
Telling to you the way it is. Look, now they're predicting your future color lines.
Purple is interesting because most of us went to TCU.
Yes,
Fort
go
Worth.
Frogs.
Ah.
Well, I assure you, everybody who's placed an order today for this Micallef Blue, they will be heading out tomorrow. Look for your tracking numbers. And do us all a favor, man. When you get this and you smoke it, share it. Let everybody know. I think everybody's going to be extremely, whoever wasn't here for the Great Smoke and already had a chance to try it, because they did have it here for those attending our Micallef event at the Great Smoke, they know. But if you're getting this for the first time and you're smoking and you're enjoying it, share it. Tell everybody out there, because this is a winner.
You know what? Don't just share it. When you get your box and you smoke it and you enjoyed it, go back and go on the site and leave a review on the site as well, man. Let us know what you think about it on the site.
Even better. Even better. Yep.
Yeah,
Let them know.
We appreciate that. And we realize the destiny of our brand is when a friend shares with another friend. And being able to provide this type of experience for $7 or $8, share one with a friend when you have it. Please help us continue to build the momentum that Micallef Cigars has. It's a reality of being a manufacturer that if you don't hit the volume targets that you want, it causes your costs to go up. And so as a company, it's very important for us to continue to grow. And that happens when we share one with a friend.
You know, I think so many times consumers underestimate the power of just people talking, right? The power of consumers sharing. And you know, most people don't realize, because we've always had this image of being, you know, a giant in this industry. And we're still not even considered a giant in this industry. You know, we're really not. We're a mid-size, mid-level player in this industry. We just run things professionally and efficiently. It makes us look even better than some of the big boys. But we've never had the budget or the marketing that some of these big companies spend. They spend more in a month than we would probably do sales in a whole year, right? I mean, it's always been word of mouth. It's always been word of mouth, whether it's even the Great Smoke. We get somebody who comes for the first time, so blown away, he brings 4 of his friends back next year. It's the same thing with cigars. You find something you like, get these, hit it, review it, share it, let your friends know, because there's a lot of power. I think more power than our patrons and our fans even realize.
Well, we certainly are very grateful for the opportunity to work closely with you, because you've helped build our business with the Cigar of the Month and the events that you've created so that we can do it. And that Cigar of the Month Club, it really hits with the ambassadors and socialites in a way to expose them to product. And then when you buy Micallef Blue or Black and you share them with your friends, you are deeply helping us grow our business in a way where your friends can have great product at a great price.
Amen to that. All right. Any closing thoughts from anybody? Amanda?
It's always a pleasure to get to spend the evening with you guys and the socialites. Thank you so much.
It's like we sat around, had a great cigar together.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely. And as I've heard prior to the show, I want to wish each of you a happy slight bit of time off. Enjoy yourselves as you catch a little break. You know, take the time. It's been crazy lately, but you guys have earned it. And of course, appreciate you guys coming on. Always love spending time with you guys.
Absolutely. And if don't forget to catch us Saturday. We're back. We had a little lull. KMA Talk Radio is back this Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, broadcasting live. Best way to start your Saturdays. Until next time, everyone, please keep it lit.
Peace.